Happy birthday, America. History began in 1776. Everything else was just a mistake before that. Well, except for the Spartans, they did pretty cool. Hey, I'm Tyler, your host of Tyler Knows Everything podcast, where the nose is crossed out because I always want to learn more. I'm wearing this American flag onesie because we're on the weekend of the 4th of July. Happy birthday to America. And I've got a super exciting guest for you today. Justin Starr is a Navy veteran who lost over 100 pounds in the past year, and he did it by basically stop eating so much food. And along the process, he became a very talented chef and has been booked for many private parties around Southeast Texas for notable individuals. So please welcome Justin Starr.
Tyler
knows
everything.
All right, Justin Starr, thanks for joining me today, man. What you got over there?
I got some Four Roses Small Batch Select. It's new. It's a little different, but it's good.
Yeah. So that's the one that's it's different than the regular Four Roses, right?
Right. I think it's a little spicier. There's some fruitiness on the nose, and it's pretty good.
Did you get a good recommendation over at Longhorn?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salvador
Mm-hmm.
hooked me up with. He told me to try that.
Cool. Let me get a little sip. Don't be stingy over there.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little spice in it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's in the back of the throat.
Yeah, man. Well, everything in moderation, like we've been talking about. If you would have been in this seat, probably about a year ago, it would have looked like there was two of you.
Yeah.
So I want to go real quick over 100 pounds weight loss in about a 1 year period, which is great because if you do it sooner than that, then it really doesn't transition into a lifestyle change, and it's not going to be something that you can realistically attain. You did it over such a long period of time that you basically changed your entire habits, for fitness and health. And I guess by now it's probably maybe over 100 pounds. You're to the point now where you're building muscle back up. So the number on the scale is not so much important anymore. It's more based off what you look like. But yeah, tell us a little bit about, how you ended up in that position anyways, and then how you got to where you are now.
All right. Yeah. Well, it ended up being about, I guess, 110, 112 pounds.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. I've gained some of it back. Like you said, I've been starting to build muscle. So
Right.
I've gained a little bit and tweaked my diet a little bit. But yeah, now I've gained probably 7-8 pounds. So I'm right at minus 105 of what I was last year.
But I've been following your workouts though, and so I think that's important to know
Yeah.
that you're definitely in a different place physically as far as fitness goes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Probably better than I've ever been, actually. I mean, without a doubt, better than I've ever been. I even coming out of boot camp when I was in the Navy, I probably wasn't in as good a shape as I am right now.
Wow, yeah.
So.
And it's, same thing for me too. I was an athlete in high school just like you, but it seems like when you get close to 30, it's almost like you hit your prime as a male. And maybe because you're a little smarter, you know how to work out, how to listen to your body a little bit better. Definitely when we're teenagers, we're not self-conscious about what we're eating or whatever.
No. I wish I would have known then what I know now.
Yeah. So what was some of the diet strategies that you followed to lose that amount of weight?
So I did, at first I started out, it was just ketogenic diet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of accidentally stumbled into intermittent fasting without realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've even gone as crazy to go as alternate day fasting.
Yeah.
That's a little difficult. That's not something I would just jump into, but I really enjoyed it. And I do it every now and then still. I'll probably do it 2 weeks out of a month.
Yeah, and I think for most people, sometimes, all in all, it's, can you put yourself into a calorie deficit? And for some people, that's hard to do just by what they eat on a daily basis. If they're eating just a standard American diet, they may not be disciplined enough to calculate those calories or know how much they're burning. And so the intermittent fasting comes into play where at some point in the day, you're typically putting yourself into a calorie deficit. And if that's what works for you, then I think by all means do it. Some people have looked at, doing like the 8-hour window or a 10-hour window, shrinking it in. And sometimes just by doing that, you can put yourself into a calorie deficit.
Well, and there's a lot of added benefits to go with fasting. I don't want to sit here and go through. I can't even name it all but a big thing is you're giving your whole entire digestive system a break, which is a big deal because you're constant. I mean, typically on the standard American diet, we're just constantly shoving food in there, and I've been guilty of it.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, in some ways, we're such a terrible design because we can scarf down a cheeseburger and immediately be hungry like an hour later.
Yeah, it's insane.
And totally not need it.
And I think that's mainly a mental. That's more mental than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
Because, growing up, we were always taught, finish your plate. Finish your plate. You can't get this until you finish your plate.
Right.
That's not. If I ever have kids, I'm not gonna make them finish their plate.
Yeah.
I mean, you eat until you're full, and then you quit.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Right.
And not full, like not miserable full. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about there.
Oh yeah, because even miserable full is something we do on purpose. Like if like a crawfish boil.
Yeah.
You literally eat until you're miserable, and
you just I don't know, and it takes a little bit of practice and I guess getting to know your body, and I know when I'm done eating.
Yeah.
And I don't even feel full. It's just something goes off in my head, says, hey, you're done.
Yeah.
And that's it.
When you had good results on the keto diet, it was more of keto with food. It wasn't the supplements or anything.
No.
And you kind of did that during the time that keto was a little controversial. There were people...
it still is.
Yeah.
There's people
right, for sure.
all day that think that it's terrible.
But basically you were eating meat and vegetables. You were eating, steak, chicken, fish with something green next to it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard cutting out because there's a lot of vegetables you can't have.
Mm-hmm.
But, I learned how to cook everything. I didn't really like Brussels sprouts when I started, but I love them now.
Yeah.
But I found out how to cook them in a way that I like them.
Yeah, and that's something else too. You really got noticed here lately with some of your gourmet dishes, with the presentation and that was something that became a hobby for you.
Yeah.
And was that something that came during the weight loss where you were cooking more for because obviously when you were 100 pounds heavier, you were probably not eating the type of stuff that you're cooking. It was more like, was it eating out or eating fast food or what was the source of the weight gain?
Actually, when I started cooking, that was actually the source of it.
Okay.
I started cooking, I guess, about like I am. I've always cooked, but I started cooking like I am now about 2 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just how I was cooking. And that was the biggest thing for me whenever I decided to do keto. I didn't have to change a whole lot. It was just a few tweaks in how I was cooking things. And I was making a lot of sauces, like flour-based sauces and, things like that were not helping me out. But I was also making Oreo pancakes and, the bad stuff. I was, so that I gained 50 pounds after that.
Wow.
Especially after Ike. Or not Ike, Harvey.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know why I felt like I had to eat everything that I had in the freezer while we were stranded,
I think a lot of people had that problem.
Yeah. But that happened, and I think I gained like 20 pounds after Harvey, and then I didn't get on the scale for a long time, and it got worse, and then I finally went to the doctor because I think I got sick, maybe flu or something, I don't know. And I jumped on the scale there, and it was 297. And I said, whoa,
Wow.
got to do something now.
Yeah.
And my doctor had actually suggested doing the keto diet. And I had heard a couple of my friends, had pretty good success on it. And I never imagined, that I would lose as much as I did, as fast as I did. Because, a friend of mine had lost like 60 pounds in like 6-7 months. And I was like, I probably can't do that, but, I'll give it a shot. And I honestly, when I started out, I was probably happy if I lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
But then 40 pounds came off in the first like 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, let me keep going at this and see what happens.
Yeah.
And because I liked the way I was eating, I didn't feel like I was on a diet anymore.
Yeah, because the main restriction is sugar.
Yeah.
But for you, you keep all the flavorful things. You still got pretty much all the meats.
Yeah.
And around during that time, I did an experiment with the ketogenic diet. I didn't need it specifically for weight loss, but I wanted to do it for blood levels because everybody kept saying, "Hey, your cholesterol is going to go up. You're going to have a heart attack." And I said, "Man, I don't think so. I'm eating lean meat and vegetables, so I don't think that's true. So let me test this out." And it just so happened that it coincided. And I really put my money on the line here because I was switching life insurance companies.
Yeah.
And they asked me for a blood test. And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to give you a blood test." So I did several months of, pretty strict keto. And they had different levels of the life insurance based on the results of your blood test of how healthy you were and your measurements and things like that, height and weight. And I actually did the blood results, qualified for the lowest price of the premium.
There you go.
Yeah. No elevated cholesterol, definitely no elevated blood glucose or sugar. All the risk factors were low. And, during that time I was working out as well. So,
yeah.
And that was no keto supplements or any other supplements, mainly just diet and exercise.
I really, honestly, I've always kind of been against the exogenous ketones because it's actually counterproductive because your body makes its own.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So why would we supply our body with something that it makes its own of?
Right, because from what I understand, if you take extra ketones, your body's going to burn those ketones.
Right.
Rather than the ones that you're...
Well, then your body's not going to make them.
Yeah.
Because you've put them in here. And a lot of those people, a lot of those companies will, you'll be in ketosis in 30 minutes or an hour.
Right.
Yeah, you are, but go check it again 2 hours later or 3 hours later. You've probably already burned through all that stuff, especially if you're any kind of, active person at all. Like you've already burned through that.
Yeah, and I think those people aren't monitoring their diet quite as closely.
A lot of them aren't. It's a gimmick. How it is, but nothing beats the diet. Nothing beats doing it. There's something I always hear, you can't outwork a bad diet.
Right, that's true.
And it's so true.
Yeah, because you're only going to work out, maybe Monday through Friday. You're probably going to work out for an hour.
And sometimes you can't do,
And maybe you not work.
Yeah.
You may skip a day, but you're going to be eating many, many hours of the day, every single day.
Well, that, and there's always the saying, abs start in the kitchen too.
Right, yeah.
And that's absolutely true.
Yeah, definitely. And I with the blood test, I even took it a step further. I did the carnivore diet for a month.
Right.
And had similar results. Total cholesterol was a little elevated, but that was to be expected. And the doctor really wasn't worried about it because it was dietary. And with testosterone being the precursor to cholesterol being the precursor to testosterone, it wasn't something that he was worried about anyways because the risk factor of LDL and HDL was within the normal range.
Right.
So, but that was one where, again, I wasn't doing it for, body image purposes. I was doing it more for the lab work, but it got me really lean.
Yeah.
I was at the end of the 30 days, and I did it in February, which was a short month because by the way, carnivore diet is meat only. There's nothing,
salt and pepper,
nothing other than meat and salt and pepper and water. So
that's insane.
I picked the shortest month of the year, but man, I was really lean at the end. It was pretty fun. In March, I ate a lot of pizza to
Oh
make
yeah,
it.
right. Replenish this glycogen level.
But yeah, but speaking of your cooking, you started posting some pictures on Instagram that were pretty. It almost looked like you were sitting down at a 5-star restaurant with the presentation, and you actually got a celebrity shout out, right?
I
Yeah.
did. Lolo Jones.
Yeah, the Olympic sprinter.
Yeah, she liked one of my photos or commented on it. One of the two. I think she commented on it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I tried to holler at her, but she wouldn't. She didn't reply.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know. No, I honestly that just started out of like being bored,
Yeah.
and it's turned into a pretty good deal now. I mean, I got our monthly dinner club group.
Yeah, so basically you had a group of friends that I guess it kind of started with last Christmas or this past Christmas
Yeah.
at my house.
Yeah, when
I decided to have a Christmas party at my house and we did steak and lobster, invite a bunch of people over, and now it's become a kind of a monthly thing.
Oh yeah.
And people are Venmoing you for the money.
Oh, they're serious about it.
Yeah, yeah.
That we book it. We go ahead and set the date the month. While we're eating, sitting down, we go ahead and set up the date.
They've got
what we're gonna eat.
They've got themes.
Oh, yeah.
There's teasers. Usually test it beforehand.
Well, if I've never made it before, I'll try it out.
Yeah, and so definitely if you're listening, you got to check out his the pictures. I mean, they're amazing. You would think that you're somewhere that's $100 a plate.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
and definitely really good. And it's all kind of, I guess, trial and error, self-taught.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
because there's no formal training. You're just
I haven't done any kind of other than like watching Food Channel.
Yeah.
The Food Network. But
and some people watch those shows and they cook but this is like another level. I mean, from what I've seen,
everybody like usually I'll do the whole presentation thing, and honestly, I'm usually not happy with the way it turns out, but everybody else thinks it looks great.
Yeah,
so I just let it go.
Yeah, I think that's like anything else. Like, because I'll do something like carpentry or something, and somebody will come compliment it, and I'm always like, well, I still got to do this, and this, and they didn't even notice.
Right.
It's always
that's how it is.
I think they're gonna notice all the flaws right away, and I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's how it is with everything, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. What's your thoughts on like how you were treated when you were 100 pounds heavier, by maybe strangers or friends, or versus how you are now, and maybe your confidence level?
Oh, my confidence level is up. Like, I've actually had people tell me, you just seem so much more confident and just like, you hold yourself differently. And I do. It's been a big change. And I'm still not used to it. I get a lot more smiles or whatever walking by people in the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. But yeah, it's a big change and really a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Really.
And I think, did you have like, any depression when you started, like when you almost were pushing 300 and, staying there for a bit?
No, not really, because I mean, that's not the kind of person I am really.
Yeah, that's
anyways.
True. Yeah, I mean, you're always kind of happy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess before I really knew that I was 300 pounds, I guess, I kind of felt that I could just tell I was just down because like everything was harder. I mean, everything was harder. And that was part of it too. Like, I mean, I remember one time I was bending over, tying my shoes, and I was like, man, it's hard to breathe. And I was like, I got to do something about this.
Yeah.
And so I did, but as soon as I really knew that I was 300 pounds, because like I didn't know.
Right, yeah.
I knew I had gained some weight, but I didn't think I had gained that much weight. Because before that, I had kind of hovered around 220 for most of my adult life. And so I was like, okay, I knew I had jumped up to like 250.
Right.
And I thought, probably 260, 265. Then I got on the scale at the doctor's office and it said 297. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, we got to do something.
And did you ever have any blood work done back then?
No,
Or-
and I wish I would have to
Yeah.
compare it to now because I just recently had some done because everybody's like, oh, keto's so bad for you. You know, you're just eating all that fat. A lot of people think you're completely cutting carbs out and you're not.
Right.
It's just a very minimal amount.
And it's mostly sugar.
Right.
I think if you're
Because insulin is a growth hormone. That's the biggest thing about all of it is, you know, those insulin spikes after you eat something that's high in carbohydrates and sugar, and it's boom, you get that insulin produced, and it's reducing your insulin sensitivity.
I think
is a big deal.
if you're eating the fat plus the sugar, you're pretty much screwed.
Yes.
You can have the fat and the protein, but you
Right.
gotta kind of curtail the sugar.
And the biggest thing about the keto diet is really you got to be strict with it for the first, I'm going to say, a lot of people say 6 to 12 weeks, but I'm going to say 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Because then you're no doubt your body has switched over to burning fat for fuel versus carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And so then you're a little bit more lenient on the amount of carbs you can have in a day.
Yeah, that's true.
But because your body is set up to burn the fat, but for sure strict on it until that point.
I think later in the journey, I got to where I could eat a few more carbs,
Right.
Almost like 50 grams a day.
Right.
And I'd be like, I'm probably going to have to start over. And I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's closer to like a paleo diet or something like that. But I
Right,
mean, they're all
right.
pretty close to the same, but yeah.
And then keeping the exercise also allows you to have more carbs.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
if you're trying to do just keto with no exercise at all, then yeah,
you
you're gonna have to.
you stay sore pretty long.
Yeah.
And,
the only thing I noticed was in the beginning, I didn't quite have a lot of the explosive strength, and that's because I was lacking the glycogen. But after a
Right.
while, it kind of leveled off. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is the good thing about the human body. It does adapt,
Yeah, for sure.
and it will. If you subject it to the same criteria for so long, it will adapt.
Yeah, I think in generations and generations, we've definitely adapted to having sugar in our diet.
Oh,
And
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just everything that in our drinks, dressings,
Everything.
additive food. It's so much of an additive versus just whatever we used to
And
have.
it's addictive.
Yeah, for sure.
It attacks those
definitely.
pleasure centers in the
Yeah,
brain.
because anytime you get full on dinner and it's mostly like protein and fat, you usually don't want more of that. You usually
Right.
say, "Hey, I'm full. I can't eat anymore."
Right.
But then somebody shows up with some cake. Oh, I have
Let's-
a yeah.
Slide that over here, homie.
Yeah, I have room for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have more room for steak? No. I have room for the cake,
Right.
though. Yeah, and it's amazing how that works with the food that's not satisfying.
For me, it was always ice cream.
Mm.
I could be completely stuffed, but like ice cream, I could just eat it and eat it and eat it and eat it, and it just didn't. I never.
Man,
I mean, I never really did that
Yeah.
at one time.
yeah,
but-
for sure.
I felt like I could.
Man, well, let's pour another
Yeah,
Four
let's
Roses.
do it.
And speaking of pouring up drinks, did you see the craziness that was down at Crystal Beach this
Oh
weekend?
man, you couldn't pay me to go down there.
No, not at all.
No,
And
it is ridiculous.
I remember many years ago when it started. I guess it wasn't many years ago. It's only been
like 3 or 4,
probably,
right?
Yeah, maybe like 5 at the most.
Yeah.
But I think the actual Jeep clubs would go down there like the week before, the week after, or whatever, and they would do a cleanup, and then they would have their Jeep weekend, and it was literally just Jeeps back then,
Yeah, no,
and
now
not
it's-
quite so crowded. And then over the years, it turned into. And now Mardi Gras is done. That was back in February.
This is bigger than spring break. Like
Yeah,
is spring break '98.
But, like,
down there, it's insane.
Everybody's down there with Mardi Gras beads, you know,
Right?
And I think what
Not that they need them, because from the videos I saw, the girls are just walking out with them, hanging out. Anyways,
Yeah.
you don't even have to ask.
and I think what maybe put it over the edge this year, because it was getting bad last year.
Oh yeah, it was
But I think
good.
what put it over the edge this year was there was high tide, and usually there's some cars parked on the good side of the dune, and then you have people driving left, people driving right, northbound, southbound, or east and west, whatever. And then you have another row of parked cars, and that's still dry sand. And then you get, you have a few more feet. It was all wet.
I think it's that and just the amount of people that I think that they probably have more people down there this year than they have, or at least last year.
Oh,
for
definitely.
Sure, but,
I think the Jeeps were outnumbered like 3-1.
Oh yeah,
by trucks and.
It's not even. It's.
I saw a Camaro that got sunk underwater.
I'm sure. Yeah, I think I've seen that same picture. People get out there and they get to drinking and then they do dumb things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying we hadn't all done that, but
right.
Because Lord knows I have. But yeah, no, you couldn't pay me to go down.
Yeah.
No.
It's turned into something that's
It's
there's not enough infrastructure down there to handle that. The first responders were overwhelmed. They were having to use Life Flight as just regular ambulance service because they had already run out of ambulances.
Yeah.
And we've all been down to Crystal Beach. It's pretty bare bones. It's not like Galveston.
Right.
There's a couple stores. There's the one big store. That's it. Because it's all houses. It's not hotels and it's not tourism as far as like hotels and restaurants. It's just beach houses that are rented out. So
well, and it's still being rebuilt from Harvey too.
Mhm.
Like it's not even.
Yeah, it's not 100%
Yeah.
yet. And I saw people parking on the dunes and peeling out, and those are supposed to be what protects the environment from eroding. So I saw a bunch of petitions where they're trying, but I don't know who they're petitioning to. I don't think you can stop people from going down there.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I think maybe I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know that it's really. I know that it's the Facebook group that puts it on. I think.
Right.
But really, probably what all they have to do is just move their weekend to another weekend, and those people won't ever know.
Yeah, and I definitely
don't-
I know a lot of the Jeepers. I definitely don't think they're to blame at all.
No.
I think they had good intentions when they originally started it, and I think
it's just gotten ridiculous.
And there was a lot. I saw a ton of people in town with a Jeep, and I kind of before all the chaos, I kind of like, oh hey, you're the only one in town, and they were like, yeah, we don't go to that anymore. So.
Well, and I think it's ridiculous. People that aren't even going to the Jeep weekend are going down there because they own a beach cabin down there, and they don't want it getting broken in. That's freaking ridiculous to me.
Yeah. So people that are typically
because it happens.
Yeah, it's the owners that typically rent out and they're renting the cabin every weekend. They block off that weekend and basically stay there with all their supplies and hunker down.
Right.
Just because they've got
probably shotgun by the door,
Oh, I'm sure, because they've got people parking on their grass.
Yes.
They've got sprinkler systems.
And people are so inconsiderate these days.
Yeah, the people that don't own cabins down there are completely reckless. It's not their stuff. They've got, and of course, you may have one person whose name is on the rental, and then he's got all his buddies, and they definitely don't care. Yeah.
For it to be 2019 with all the political correctness, people sure don't give a crap about anybody else's stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, yeah, for sure.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that was just kind of on the, this will come out later, of course, but it was just this past weekend, so it was on my mind, and I was thinking, man, yeah.
No, that's
and I always think too with with alcohol being legal for anyone over 21. I think if everybody down there were smoking weed, they wouldn't have acted like that.
But did you see how many got arrested that had alcohol that weren't 21? I mean, almost most.
Yeah.
Probably half of the arrests were minor in possession.
Minor possession and public intoxication. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But they're not. They're not going down. It's not like Destin.
No.
You go to Destin, you walk to the beach.
Well, they have a lot bigger beach too.
Yeah. You take your umbrella, you take your chair, and you chill out.
Right.
It's the driving and the. Hey, my truck's bigger than yours, and my flag's bigger than yours.
I mean, I know you probably saw a couple videos of fights, just people being hot-headed.
Yeah,
why you gotta be hot-headed, man?
The first thing I wonder,
ain't nothing that serious.
When I saw the fight on videos, is I wonder what started that fight.
Right, it was probably something stupid.
Looked at me wrong. Yeah,
look, you breathe my air, bro. What the hell?
Yeah. I always wonder exactly what it was that started that fight, and it's probably definitely not.
You got the same swim trunks on as me, bro. We're gonna fight now.
They were probably Hurleys.
Yeah, they were for sure.
So, man, what else have you been up to lately? You got your main career, but you also have a side hustle,
Yeah.
which I always tell everybody is smart. You should always have multiple
Yeah.
streams of income, and so tell us what you got going on.
I got my landscaping business that I do on the side. I mean, I work shift work, so I'm off 14 days a month. I got to do something. Well, that was the plan. I got to do something to get in there and make a little extra money, a little play money.
Mm-hmm.
I like to travel, so.
Oh, yeah. What do you got? You got anything coming up?
Guam.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to piggyback that with, I like to go to Hawaii every year.
Right, yeah.
So on my way back, I think I'm going to try to stay in Hawaii for a week, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And it depends on if I can take a vacation.
Still planning on doing the scuba certification?
Oh, yeah.
Down there? Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I got mine back in December. I've got a trip planned to Miami in June. So we're going to go off the coast of Miami. Not like the most popular place to dive. Usually it's out of the country, but I wanted to go somewhere quick and kind of in the States because I haven't used my certification yet. And I've never been to South Beach. So I kind of just wanted to walk around and get the food.
I need to do that.
There's lots of food trucks down there.
I need to go fishing down there.
Yeah. Florida fishing's really good.
Yeah.
Florida's just fun in general. It's an interesting place. It's like Texas, it's like its own country.
After I get certified, we'll make a trip to the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, we'll have to hit up a dive for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Navy veteran. What you got any cool Navy stories?
Not that I want to tell the world, but
anything maybe relevant to the Navy and the country, but not the hanging out and the partying.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good experience.
Yeah, how many years was it?
I actually, and I didn't realize this until I was actually already on my ship, but I had actually signed up for a program that they had at the time. You did 2 years active, 2 years of inactive reserve, or active reserve. I enjoyed the 2 years of active. 2 years of reserves was garbage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
did you have to face any deployments during that time, or mostly just?
When I was active duty, for the most part, I was stationed right there, and I got lucky. I graduated top of my job class, and I got first pick of where I wanted to go. And there was a base I saw in Corpus Christi.
Okay.
And so I saw that. I put that one down, San Diego and Japan.
Yeah.
On my list. And I ended up getting Corpus, which I thought was a great deal until I got down there.
Yeah. I think the other two would have been amazing.
Yeah. No, well, I ended up getting to go to both of them.
But, okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen McHale's Navy.
No.
It's an older show, but it was like that down there.
Oh,
it was just it was it was different.
Yeah.
But it was a little more laid back, so that was good for me because I'm definitely a more laid back person. That the military was a little difficult for me because it was so uptight.
Yeah, but then that's right. I forgot that you spent a short time living in California.
Yeah. That was after I had gotten out of active duty. But
okay,
they ended up shutting the base. It was actually in Ingleside, which is just this side of Corpus. They actually ended up shutting our base down, so we home port shifted to Sasebo, Japan. So, and I didn't really get to stay there very long, but.
And what type of boats were you on?
I was on a minesweeper. It was a wooden ship.
A wooden ship? I didn't know the Navy had a wooden ship.
They do. Because it's a minesweeper, it's wooden to give off less magnetic signature. It's actually pretty neat. Yeah. You wouldn't know looking at it from the outside that it's wooden. There's so much paint on there. But
and this is like year 2000.
This was 2000. 2008, 2009.
I never would have guessed the Navy had wooden ships.
They still have them too.
Wow.
The ship I was on personally is decommissioned and they've tore it apart. But It was
And which was one of them called the Avenger?
that's the one I was on. Yeah,
So the Avenger is a wooden ship.
yeah, hull number
Wow.
1.
Goodness.
Yeah, we were hull number 1.
And did you?
Our hats had Iron Man on them.
Yeah.
I think it said wooden ships Iron Man.
Well, that's badass.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What was the longest? I guess port to port.
Well, us being a smaller, we're only classified a ship by like 2 foot. If we'd have been 2 foot shorter, it would have been a boat.
Right.
Yeah.
So you probably couldn't go very far as some of the
No,
battleships or
if
destroyers.
we did, we had to go with a group
Yeah.
because we couldn't. I think we were maximum like 14 days
Yeah.
that we could stay out
Uh-huh.
without supplies being sent in.
Right. Yeah. So whereas an aircraft carrier is like a city.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
they
they're
don't ever have to pull in the
they're
port if they don't
nuclear.
want to.
Yeah. And so I guess 2008 wasn't too hot. I don't think there wasn't a whole lot.
No, it was pretty laid back. That was about the time Obama got.
Yeah, we are just cruising the ocean
Yeah.
looking for
Yeah,
ocean
well,
mines.
for the most part, when I first got on the ship, we were really right before I got to the ship. They basically if you got put down there, you weren't stationed to a particular ship. You were on a crew, and they would rotate the crews. They had 2 ships over in Bahrain.
Okay.
2 of the minesweeper ships. So you would rotate through different ships, and then you would go to Bahrain. Probably stay on the 2. I didn't make one of those rotations. They shut it down right after I got there.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, my crew that I was on was basically the mechanical crew. They came in and fixed everything, and then we would move on. But
yeah,
we got stuck on the oldest of the class of ships, and so I spent the first year getting everything back to mission ready.
Yeah, one of my buddies, he works for the American Bureau of Shipping. I think he was in the Navy prior to that, and he got stationed in Bahrain. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna come visit you. And then I Google mapped it, and I was like, no, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm not going to Bahrain.
No, it's way too hot over there.
It was literally in the middle of everything all the countries that you hear on the news that start with a something stand,
they're all right there.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'll just
I don't know if you really paid that much attention to it, but it's tiny.
It is, yeah.
It is so tiny.
And he's pretty safe. He's got an Americanized I guess a base or whatever that's got American food. But his whole family's over there. He's got a wife and I guess 2 kids now, and she's like full blown, like when they go outside, she's got the burqa and everything.
Yeah.
And so they've been there for, I guess, almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, and then I got out and came back home and got in. I was doing the reserves down at Ellington Field in Houston once a month. Supposed to be 2 weeks a year, but I got attached to a unit and they never contacted me, so I just hung out at the reserves. I just did my 1 weekend a month deal.
Oh, okay.
And about a year and a half, I think it was. Yeah, I had been in the unit for a year and a half, hadn't heard anything from anybody. I get a call from San Diego, and they're like, "Hey, you've been in our unit for like a year and a half. You know that, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been waiting on a phone call."
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Well, we got a class this weekend. We need you to come to." I'm like, "There's no way I can just pack up and leave and come this." It was like a Wednesday. I was like, "There's no way I can leave on Wednesday," because the class was like 2 or 3 months long or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry, 4 or 5.
Yeah, and San Diego's like the mecca of the Navy
Yeah,
because
well,
that's Coronado. That's where you got SEAL teams training.
Yeah, the biggest base was is Norfolk. That's the main hub. But San Diego would probably be number 2. It's that whole area is just
for sure.
And
I got to visit San Diego and I went on a tour with the Midway.
Yeah.
The aircraft carrier. And
Yeah.
it was like the the lead strike carrier for Desert Storm, and General Norman, I guess Schwarzkopf was, or it was the admiral had his quarters on that ship, and it was a non-nuclear sub, but yet it was the lead attack carrier.
I don't know if you've ever, because I've been on that one.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you've ever been down to Corpus, but they've got the USS Lexington there.
Oh, okay.
You can go probably through more of that ship than any other of the ones that I've ever been on.
Yeah, because the Midway kind of limited you to the upper levels.
Right.
I saw like a tiny part of the engine room. And
you can go all day on the Lexington. It's insane. There's there's not a whole lot that's off limits.
Yeah, and they had a model of I guess one of the new ones is the Gerald R. Ford. That's a nuclear one, and it's just a massive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, because you could go down in the engine room on the Lexington, which is a big deal for me because that's what I did.
And of course, the engine room on the Midway was like it was like diesel. It was
that's what I did too. But I love going through there because it's like this is close to what I had.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I guess a nuclear one, you just push a button.
Yeah. So I was in San Diego. They finally called, or I said, no, I can't make it this weekend. But they were like, okay, well, we got another class coming up, this summer. So, try to make it. I was like, okay, I can do that. I mean, my job has to let me off anyway. So I just didn't want to go that quickly.
Right.
So I left and I went, and I was attached to a amphibious CB unit.
Okay.
So the construction battalion.
Mm-hmm. And that's like, is it like a land sea vehicle?
They'll go.
Almost like D-Day, right?
Like, kind of, sort of. They'll go out with they've got their own barges, and they'll carry out construction equipment from the amphibious ships, and they'll barge it all out to the shore, and they got a little gate. Anyways, I was going to school for being a diesel mechanic on their little barges, which was, after being on even a small ship, that was like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
I opened the hood on my Duramax out there, and it's like that. I mean, it's a little bit bigger, but
right. And
they had 2 or 3, but
so that wooden ship you were on was it diesel powered?
Yeah, it was. They were Waukesha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did y'all kind of like the airplanes have in-flight refueling? Do y'all have like?
Yeah. No, you can do that at sea.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool to see it happen. They've got these. It's almost like an AR-15. It's almost like an AR-15, but it's got like a tube on it, and they've got this big like. It almost looks like that.
Oh, okay.
They tie a rope to it, shoot it across. They tie it off on their side of the ship, and then they start sending a fuel line across.
Okay.
And then it plugs in on the side of the ship, and they start dumping fuel in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Nice. And speaking of AR-15s, your family has quite the armory.
Yeah, we're ready for whatever.
It's like a lot of people know your dad. He's in, I guess, like an operations manager of Lumberton Municipal Utility District, and then president of the Lumberton Chamber of Commerce on the board. So he got into competitive shooting here recently, where he's going through the courses, and he's got to like bing, 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 switch guns, and it's about speed, it's about accuracy, and then your brother's got a lot.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I don't have to buy any because between the two of them,
and
they got it covered.
And at your family land, you've got your own backstop.
Oh yeah,
you've got your own range.
We're we live next door to a church. Sometimes they get mad when we do Tannerite on Sunday.
Oh yeah, okay.
But Sunday gun day.
Right. Yeah. Definitely don't don't rob these guys. They stay ready.
We blew. Speaking of the church, one night we weren't thinking about what time it was. They were having the Sunday evening service.
Oh yeah.
And I had a dishwasher at my old house that quit working, and we had the great idea we're gonna blow it up, man. So we shot it full of holes first, and then we set it up, put some tannerite in there, probably more than we should have, but we set it off. Well, my mom got like 3 calls from people at church, like, "What the hell was that?"
It's like did they have her number already?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's most of them live pretty close to the house, so
Okay,
they know. Everybody
Right.
knows everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to go there, but yeah,
Oh, funny stuff. Yeah, your dad showed me his competition pistols, and they're like RoboCop guns.
dude, shoot them.
It's something.
It's insane.
It's like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh yeah, and just like anything else, serious sports like triathlons and stuff, it gets expensive with the gadgets.
Yeah.
I guess you would say, and all the accessories.
Well, he does the reloading, which, like,
Yeah, and I saw his.
if he didn't, it would be a habit that would be way too expensive to keep doing.
Yeah, so he collects the spent brass, and then he puts the, and he's got a whole room for this, and machines, and you pour the gunpowder back into the spent shell, put a new primer in, and a new lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's something else. It's a totally different world.
It's pretty noisy too.
Oh, the reloading process?
Yeah, it's pretty noisy. Well, the cleaning part.
Okay.
The rest of it's pretty quiet. But
Yeah. Where does he get all the spent brass from? The gun range?
yeah. I mean, after they have their little competitions, they police their own brass too.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's all laying around.
Yeah. And then, I mean, anytime we even shoot at the house, we're picking it all up afterwards.
Ah, gotcha.
I mean, that's just how it is. And so, I mean, you're really not wasting anything other than, the gunpowder and the lead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, man, super excited about tonight, man. You got movie tickets to John Wick 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's like #1 now. Like it knocked off Avengers Endgame.
All right, really?
Yeah, yeah. Not in total money, but just in who's #1 at the moment. I think is John Wick 3.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely most fun Tuesday ever.
Right.
Did you end up seeing Endgame yet?
I did.
Yeah. What did you think about that?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine spoil it for me first, so I kind of like he spoiled everything.
Yeah. Oh,
like everything.
Yeah.
Like I pretty much didn't have to watch the movie. It was bad because I went with my dad.
Yeah.
And I was like having to stop myself from like nudging him when I knew a part was coming up, you know. But it was still good, even knowing what was coming.
Yeah, for sure. For the first one, for Infinity War, I read all the spoilers immediately before I saw it, just because I knew it's not really a thing that bothers me, because I'm going to see it anyways, and I kind of wanted to know. And I was doing the same thing. I always go to see it with a friend, and I'm like, hey, I know what this is about. I know like the backstory, you know? But yeah, I saw Endgame. Didn't have to go to the bathroom. Made it all 3 hours. Saw the whole thing. No end of credits scenes.
Yeah,
so.
I think a lot of people. It was kind of funny. I knew that was another thing that I got spoiled for me, but there was a lot of people still sitting there waiting, and I was like, that's been.
I definitely I read ahead of time, and then I asked somebody who already saw it. I said, "So there's nothing, right?" And they were like, "No, there's nothing."
At the very end, there's like 3 clanks, you know, but and it's supposed to be symbolism, I guess.
Yeah, so I think the theory was in the very first Iron Man, if you throw it back to 2008, he was in the cave
with the
building his armor,
armor.
And I think that was a throwback because obviously this is the end of the road for him, which was Robert Downey Jr. did an amazing job. But
man,
he was ready to be done because his age. He's a lot older than a lot of them. So he was
gotta stay in pretty good shape for those movies.
Yeah,
too.
he did. 10 years, 11 years with the franchise. He was ready to be done. And I think a lot of the rest of them will continue on. I'm sure there's still some future movies.
And I hate that, man. Like those RDJ Iron Man movies are. Yeah, awesome.
That's what started it all.
I mean,
it was 2008, and I was really happy for him as a person because he had gone through the whole rehab.
Right. Yeah.
He had mugshots, and
they didn't want to hire him at first.
No, and he had Sherlock Holmes and Iron Man. It kind of brought him back into relevance, and I mean the humor and the wit of that guy. I mean, just if there's anybody you can hang out with, I would hang out with Robert.
I don't know that they could have picked a better person for that role too,
No, yeah,
as Tony Stark. Like, you know, because he's the billionaire,
right?
You know.
Yeah, I think about that with so many roles.
And I mean, he
that,
basically already lived that life.
yeah, it
you
was
know,
really him,
so-
him in the first place.
Right.
I think that was what made Ben Affleck kind of a good Batman in
Yeah.
the Bruce Wayne role.
Right.
But you know, Marvel and Disney together really just took it to another level that
Yeah.
DC can't keep
Man,
up.
and I'm excited for what's coming next out of Marvel. Man, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. And but you thinking of the casting, you know, I just can't imagine someone else playing those roles like Chris Hemsworth for Thor.
Oh yeah,
or
man. I'm glad that he's not done.
Yeah, or Samuel L. Jackson for Nick Fury. Like
Yeah.
I can't picture
No.
another one. You know, you could throw in some different Spider-Mans, but
I really didn't get into like I didn't get really into the Marvel movies until I think well, except for Iron Man. I've always liked the Iron Man movies. But that Thor Ragnarok, man. That movie, like, it was so good, and I'd like, all right, I need to know all of it.
Yeah, and
I need to
I
know
got into it a
everything.
little bit later too because I was always a DC fan because I was hardcore Superman, but it was just like we could never get a good Superman movie. And so when Marvel first came out with Iron Man, I was like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was till Iron Man 2 that I went back and saw Iron Man 1, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, hold
Yeah.
on, they're
No,
doing something.
They killed
different.
it.
Yeah, because the Dark Knight trilogies were good. That was
Yeah.
yeah, they picked it up there, but then they never could merge, you know, all the other characters together. And I liked Henry Cavill as Superman.
They did a good job of Wonder Woman too.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was
Gal
good.
Gadot, that was a
Yeah.
good choice. They got that one right for sure. But yeah, once I started seeing
And even Aquaman. This like
oh yeah, I think so.
It was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I like that actor as well, Jason Momoa. And
There's a lot of ladies that like him too.
yeah, he was gonna, and in that, but then Game of Thrones, you haven't seen any, right?
No.
You're not a,
No,
yeah.
I
and you
haven't,
know,
nah.
it just ended last Sunday.
I know, and everybody's so mad. So now I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, they were announcing therapy sessions for the people,
Oh,
and
God.
I was like, if there was ever a job that I think that I could do, what if I could be the therapist for that? Imagine how easy that would
Right?
be. $50 an hour, and you can tell me that you're sad about your series. That I wouldn't be a good therapist though, because I
Hey,
would tell
they
them
just ended Big Bang Theory too. Do they need
Yeah.
therapists for that?
I would tell them to get over it. So I don't think I would be good.
Right.
But that I'm that way with Star Wars. I can't get into Star Wars at all, and I've tried.
I really haven't either.
And I've been mad about it because I'm like, I should be into this because I like space.
Yeah,
I'm nerdy.
you do.
I
You do like
should,
space.
and I'm like, why am I not? I think it's just too much. I think there's like,
I think that's what it's been for me too. Like I've always tried and I can't.
yeah. So like, there's the level of fiction, and then there's like Star Wars is like,
Yeah,
like on the ceiling, and
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, I'm done.
yeah. Like my dad and my brother love it.
Yeah.
I can't.
I saw the Solo movie, which you don't really have to know a whole lot about what's going on to enjoy the Solo
Right.
movie. It's kind of just like, hey, impress me with special effects, and then I like it.
Aren't they coming out with another one?
I don't know.
I thought I thought it was all supposed to be over. Apparently they're coming out with another one.
Well, here's what happens: is Disney is a machine, and,
Well, yeah.
and Disney knows how to monetize things, so it will never be over for Disney. Anything that Disney can keep rolling, you know,
Right.
they've got Star Wars, they've got Marvel, they've got Pixar. Disney owns everything at this point.
Yeah. I'll tell you another
Avatar.
movie.
I think they own Avatar, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, I say Thor Ragnarok got me back or got me really into the Marvel movies.
yeah.
I take that back. It was probably Guardians.
Yeah, both
Both of those
tied in together.
If nothing for the soundtrack alone,
Oh, for sure.
those movies were gold.
And I was a big Parks and Rec fan, so I like Chris Pratt.
Yes. I love Chris Pratt.
And when he made the transformation to like a pudgy,
Yeah.
worthless guy to a superhero.
Yeah.
And I was never second guessing. I was like, yes, he should be this
Yes.
part. So I really like
What was that other movie he played in with
Jurassic Park was another one where
Well, no. The space movie with what's her name? Hunger Games girl.
that Chris Pratt was in?
Yeah.
I don't even know of another movie that he's in
Yeah.
besides Guardians and
No, it was
Jurassic Park.
they were on a spaceship. They were frozen, like cryogenically frozen.
Oh, yes.
And then
Okay,
something
yeah.
happened in their.
Jennifer Lawrence,
pods-
and it was
yeah,
Passengers.
yeah,
it was called Passengers.
Passengers, yeah.
I really like that one.
That was a good movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it, but yeah, we went and saw that. That was good.
Yeah. So as soon as Chris Pratt got in shape, he became a better.
Yes.
He became a better actor.
Well, I always liked him anyways. I mean, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
perfect for
Comic
that
relief.
role that he played on Parks and Rec. I mean,
Yeah.
that was Andy Dwyer, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, Passengers was really good, and it was a really good concept of what would you do if you're stranded. You know, you've got 100 years left.
Yeah.
As you know, in the end, you know, they live their life together
Yeah.
by themselves. You know,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
At least, you know, that would have been pretty jacked up
yeah.
if you had been the only one.
But yeah, that was Jennifer Lawrence who played Mystique in X-Men, and then also from Hunger Games.
Right.
Which I liked both
Oh yeah.
the Hunger Games too.
So speaking of let's go back to the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think about Captain Marvel? Because that's a big topic of
Well,
discussion.
okay,
for
so
everybody.
I like the character. There's people that don't
Yes.
there's people that don't like the actor.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like men apparently, or she's one of those.
Yeah, I think she's just kind of bitchy.
Yeah,
and people
yeah.
don't
Brie Larson.
Yeah.
I follow her on Instagram. I really like her. Yeah, she's
I don't
really
have
cool.
anything against
but
her as a person. But
I just don't know all these Hollywood actors that have these political platforms.
Yeah.
And I literally think that they don't, other than maybe Leonardo DiCaprio, I really don't think that they care. I think that they're just there because they got and this is what's funny too, is because, I'll tell you this. Whenever I found out who was playing Captain Marvel, I followed her, and she had like the same number of followers as like me and you. Okay.
Yeah,
And I followed her then, and she was normal.
Right.
She was normal then, and now she's turned into the, you know. And what's funny is, and I think it's something specific to, she doesn't like white males.
I
And,
know.
but she's
that's
in
what it seems like.
But she's in a movie universe, a cinematic universe with quite a few white males.
Right.
But the concept, I like it. You know, I think in the comics,
No, I think
the
so,
comics,
too.
it was originally like a guy. I think Captain Marvel's
Yeah.
guy. But
Well,
but yeah.
it went through several different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's very rarely a superhero movie that I don't like, because like
Yeah,
even
I mean-
Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds, that everybody hated. I thought it was cool. I was like,
I didn't
yeah.
mind it.
And then Deadpool, of course, took it to a new level,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they went all the way through. They made it rated R, which was brilliant, because that's what Deadpool needed. You know,
Right.
you can't have a Deadpool
For
without
sure.
and they did a little cool twist on part 2 where they made a PG-13 version.
Yeah.
And they released it.
The Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had Fred Savage from the Wonder Years
Right.
narrating it. It was hilarious.
That was good.
Yeah.
I
And so-
watched that. I watched that not too long ago. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, let me see that.
Yeah, I went
good.
to it thinking it was a new movie, and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, this is the
Yeah,
same
it's
thing."
the same thing for me. I thought it was different,
Yeah.
but I was
And
like,
I really
huh.
like the Cable character. That may be a Halloween.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be Halloween for me, because
Right.
I always try to do some different type of superhero for Halloween. And Cable, I think I can pull it off with I
Yeah.
can shave my hair on the sides a little bit, do the mechanical arm. I might do Cable.
With my haircut, I could probably pull off like a Vision.
Yeah, you should.
Or,
My buddy
or
did
Thanos.
my buddy did a fantastic Vision. It was Brian. You probably saw me take a picture with him.
Maybe.
Yeah, we showed up, and I was like, "Whoa, you're like cosplay level
Yeah.
Vision." You know,
Man, speaking of the cosplay level stuff, after the end game and all that, man, I was online and I seen this advertisement or something for like a movie quality Iron Man suit. It was like $9,000.
yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I, just being curious, I went and looked at it. Man, that thing was pretty cool. And for a minute, I was like,
Yeah, you considered it. Yeah, I still want to get an Infinity Gauntlet that lights up for sure.
I've seen those. I'll try to remember the name of the
I'll
website.
probably just get it from Wish,
Yeah.
like everything else.
Well, they
it'll
had
come
one
in.
that
It'll come
was,
in 2 months.
They had one that was pretty legit.
Yeah.
On a website I saw when I was looking at all that stuff. Because I had actually watched a video on YouTube of a guy who had a metal Iron Man helmet,
Oh wow.
and he put a heads-up display in it.
Did it come over the top?
Yes.
Like, oh wow. Yeah.
It was mechanical.
Yeah.
But it came like that. But he put a heads-up display in it. Like, he completely gutted it, put a heads-up display. There's a camera on one side, and he's actually got night vision in it.
Oh wow.
Like, it's
Yeah.
insane.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Yeah. So tonight, John Wick 3. So the ending of John Wick 2, he gets excommunicated from the order, I guess,
So
or you know,
it's
of
about to
assassins.
get nuts.
So and there's a bounty on his head for every major assassin. It was funny because I have these like they're probably from Chuck E. Cheese or some shit, like gold coins. And you know, on John Wick, they have their own.
Right.
The group of assassins have their own currency, and they pay for everything in these gold coins. And just as a joke, so I'll go up to my coworkers and my friends, and I'll kind of have like a serious face, and I'll ask them to do something for me, and I'll hand them a gold coin.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, are they going to get the joke or they're not? But yeah. So yeah, we're going to see what it's all about. It's John Wick versus everybody.
I'm ready
tonight.
for it too because it's probably going to be really good.
Well,
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen I can't imagine a John Wick movie being bad.
It's going to be a lot of fighting and a lot of shooting. Yeah.
It's going to be good.
That's right up our alley. So yeah, man, we'll wrap this up. Thanks for coming, man. You're welcome back anytime.
Thanks for having me, man. I enjoyed it.
The good Four Roses whiskey.
Oh yeah.
That's a Buffalo Trace one, I think, right? Yeah.
Maybe next time I come back, my Bookers will be ready to drink.
That's like 120 proof.
Yeah,
right?
125.9.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Man.
That's what it said on the bottle. It's
It's
stout.
Yeah, well, good thing, you know, we got into the high-end bourbons. We keep it classy. We don't act a fool. It's all about finding that balance and everything in moderation.
Oh, yeah.
All right. See you next time, everybody.
All right.
Peace out. All right. Thanks, Justin. Great episode. Hey, a little spoiler alert. So Justin's going to be starting his own podcast pretty soon. He's got a pretty sweet setup. He's got some LED lights in the tables, and he's got some creative things going on. So I'll be sure to share that later on. We'll be doing some swap casts where I'll be on his episodes and he'll be on mine, and we can kind of share them on both channels. And so be on the lookout for that. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July weekend. Hope everybody was safe, got to shoot some fireworks. And I'll be around for a couple of YPO events. We're about 1 month away from opening up the nominations for 40 Under 40. So just send me a link or send me an email, comment, and I can tell you how to get it nominated. And I'm your host, Tyler, of the Tyler Knows Everything podcast, where the nose is crossed out because I always want to learn more. Have a good rest of your week.